Hey, good evening. Maria back with another video. It's 7:05 p.m. It is Thursday, March 10th, and I just decided to take my shoes off and get into my pajamas and just kind of unwind. And I made a video, I think about 2 or 3 days ago, and I didn't like the way it turned out because I was really tired and I was kind of going all over the place with the subject matter, but I decided now that I'm just kind of got a little bit of free time, I thought I'd just kind of kick back and kind of just get some things get some stuff off my chest that I was kind of thinking about. There's times where like I'm on the internet and I stumble upon, brief stories that come into like news feeds or whatever, and I don't like to read a bunch of stuff like this, but especially things that are frivolous. But this particular story kind of got my attention because it starts off kind of ridiculous. Um, this is a story about this lady whose family kind of played, I would consider it a kind of a cruel, practical joke at her expense. Kind of like what these monsters kind of did to me, and they expect you to just kind of shrug it off. But anyway, what happened was, they were planning her a surprise birthday party. And sometimes, people like to, I personally think when people do this, that they're actually kind of hiding a secret agenda to try to justify a little mean bullying, try to throw their little bullying tactics in there. Basically, they were ignoring her and kind of being a little rude to her throughout the day so that they could surprise her later. Now, some people might look at this as, well, that's not a big deal. They were just going to surprise her at the end. But I will tell you that what this particular person was going through, she went through, a lot of psychological depression because of the way that she was being treated. Not only was she being treated this way by her family, she was being treated this way by her coworkers, her neighbors, so on and so forth. And so when she came home to unwind for that day, that was not a very good day. She comes in and guess what? Surprise! It's your birthday, and her emotions, her natural instinct was to just get up and walk away. Like you can't turn on emotions, with a switch. There's a process that people have to go through. And so she decided to go to a local McDonald's to try to get her thoughts together. And while she was at the local McDonald's or whatever, she got a bunch of text messages from the people who were at the party, like, "Hey, well, come on, what's wrong with you? Just get over it," and that sort of stuff. Now, mind you, I don't want to compare her story to what happened to me, but I think a lot of people might think that I take social isolation a little too far. My thing is that I read into certain things on people, and people kind of do take pleasure at hurting other people. And I've known this for a very long time, but I know that when I was a victim of human trafficking / gang stalking, which are one and the same, by the way, I realized that the people who were behind my targeting were they kind of got off on it. Like, it was very sick to them. It was a power trip, is basically what it is. Very big power trip. They felt like they were in control. They had, that they could make someone suffer. They could take someone's job away. They could make someone suffer and be miserable. And they're the ones that are behind, they're doing it, and they felt extremely powerful doing it. In this case, I do believe that there was a little bit of microaggression in the group or the person who orchestrated this whole thing. I mean, there's a lot of things that people do that have hidden meaning. You know what I mean? And when you look deeper underneath the surface, I mean, sure, like the story goes, yeah, they gave her a surprise at the end of the day, but it gave them the opportunity to treat her and mistreat her um, in a way that they ordinarily wouldn't, and they could use this as a justification for lashing out or mistreating her, abusing her, ignoring her, whatever it is. So I read into certain things, and on some level, I think this girl did too. And so she felt like she didn't want to return the birthday party, and so she took this issue to social media, right? And there's some people who supported her. And there's, of course, some people who didn't. Okay, now story number 2. The other story that I stumbled upon it, I think it was last night. And this is a story about a woman who decides to get a divorce right after she gets married. And the reason why she chooses to get this divorce is because, during the planning of her wedding, she kept telling her husband, her soon-to-be husband, that she did not want him to be like a fool at their wedding. Some people like to smash cake in each other's face. And, if that's your sense of humor and that's the kind of stuff that you like to do, then that's fine, okay? But it has to be some sort of it's got to be consensual, right? But she kept telling him no, she didn't think that sort of stuff was funny. She didn't want anyone doing that to her. And now to me, I never had like a big wedding or anything like that. But for some women, that's a big deal in their life, okay? So she probably wanted that day to be really special. She wanted to look beautiful the entire time that she was in public view. She wanted to wear her dress. Her hairstyle had to be whatever. And plus, she just wanted to enjoy herself without cake on her face. I mean, that's her choice. She has the right to exist in her state of being how she wants to without any sort of confectionery treats smashed on her face. But you know what? Her husband did it anyway. And so the very next day, she told her family that she decided to get a divorce. Now, once again, here's an issue that seems small on the surface, okay? It seems like, well, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? It's just cake. He thought it was funny, and it's not. He thought it was funny at her expense. He didn't care. That was a clear indication and a statement and something she needs to take in consideration for her future happiness. He basically gave her a glimpse of how the future is going to be with him. He's not going to listen to her. He doesn't care about her needs. Her wedding to her was an important day. For some women, that's the most important day of their life, okay? For some women, that's a big day for them, okay? And this is how she viewed it, okay? Now, regardless of how I feel about those sort of things, this is what was important to her. She communicated that to this man, and he demonstrated that he didn't care. So how does she think it's going to be, on other issues? How does she think it's going to be if she wants to make plans or they're trying to work towards a common goal and he's constantly working against her every time she expresses what she needs or she expects from him? So I don't blame her for wanting to get a divorce, okay? I personally don't think she should have got married in the first place. But of course, you're going to deal with these outside pressures. Her family's basically saying, oh, well, you should give him another chance and blah, 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 blah. And a lot of people just don't think about the underlying message of certain things or what certain things really mean. Like I said, this was a glimpse into her future. This was basically the opportunity for her to see that this man cares nothing about her. And so I hope she did bail. I didn't read the whole story. I got the gist of it because it's like, okay, I see that this man didn't care about something that she valued. And what she values means very little to this person. So I don't blame her. I personally think, in my opinion, I think the world is a very lonely place. I mean, it's extremely lonely. Because, I think of how there's very little love in this world. And what I mean by love, I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm talking about platonic love. I'm talking about the kind of love that you're supposed to get from your family. I'm talking about the kind of love you're supposed to get from your so-called friends. That genuine caring that for some reason people long to have, but there's so very little of it in this world, okay? I'm aware of that. And I think a lot of people are on some level, but they always tend to be optimistic and tend to fall into the trap of giving that person another chance and being stupid enough to continually fall for it. And it's sad too, really it is. But anyway, I think in my situation, I have distanced myself from my blood relations. I don't communicate with them. I have no desire to communicate with them. I don't. And then, of course, my son's father, I don't really have a reason to communicate with him. My son is grown. He's a grown man. he's a grown man, and I don't really have any reason to. It includes his family or whatever. I don't talk or communicate with my ex-husband. I don't talk to the people that I used to know in high school, because everyone got involved in this and no one seemed to care about my personal feelings. And it is a lonely world, because when you really start thinking about how the majority of people really don't care about your personal needs and what you need to be happy, but they always want to basically put their needs in front of yours. And I know it's a hard choice for a lot of people, and the mistake that a lot of people make is that they think that, well, I'll be lonely, I'll be off to myself, I won't be able to, I will be all by myself. And you will be by yourself, but a lot of people don't realize they're already by themselves. Because if the shit hits the fan and something happens to where this person is going to basically show you their true colors, when a situation comes up, they'll show it. Like, right now we have a lot of things going on right now, okay? And there you might be placed in a situation where it's going to be you or them. You know what I mean? And they're going to show you that they will be willing to throw you under the bus if they have to. Okay? They're not going to care, be concerned about your feelings or whatever. We really do live in that sort of world. So, and I'm very much aware of it. And yeah, there are times that I do get lonely, want to talk about something. And this is one of the best things about YouTube. Like, you can make your videos and you can talk about stuff that you find interesting, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. And then sometimes you get a person who makes a comment, or you can comment on someone else's video, or you can do the social media thing, and you don't have to worry about somebody betraying you, somebody stabbing you in the back, somebody showing you their true colors and disappointing you. Now, I will say, when it comes to this particular group of people who basically wanted me dead, and to me, you do this sort of stuff to a person, you want that person dead, whether that be in the spiritual sense or it actually is a physical sense. Personally, I think they wanted me completely obliterated off the face of the earth. When you want to change a person, you're basically saying, I don't like who you are. I don't like the way you laugh. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like your choices that you make. I want you to be someone different. I want this person to die off. That's your spirituality. Who you are, your spiritual being, how you present yourself. This is you spiritually, okay? So they wanted me dead, okay? Basically, by cutting you off from financial resources, such as having a job and so on. That's like, to me, that's a physical death, okay? Either way, when you are a victim of gang stalking, you are basically, the people who are behind it have a murderous intent. And so, you would be really stupid to just kind of shrug your shoulders and be like, oh, I'm going to be your friend again. And honestly, the truth is, I don't think these people were ever my friend. Okay. True friends are very hard to find. What else did I want to say before I end up this video? So I've just been kind of like hanging around, I go to work and I come home, and I come home very tired a lot of times. And, that's good. It is good that I stay busy. What do I do to keep myself from being lonely? The last few weeks, I can't say that I've dealt with any loneliness, because, I stay busy at work. And the little social interaction that I have, like the hi, goodbye at work, it's enough for me. You know what I mean? I think that's what's one of the most difficult things when I was being isolated in, being isolated, going to jobs where, like, I was the only person there. And it was just like, why? And I really hated it. Like, I just hated that so much, that somebody would bully me in a sense, to where they would take away my rights and put me in a situation where I was socially isolated. That was a horrible, horrible experience. And that's pretty much really all I need. Like, I'm content with that. And I wish I did have, like, this really cool best girlfriend. Like, that would be the coolest thing in the world. But sometimes you have to be your best friend. You know what I mean? Because I might find a girlfriend that acts cool, does cool stuff, wants to go out, make arts and crafts, wants to go to garage sales, wants to do all these crazy things, right? But she might have her own agenda, and she gets to stab me in the back. I think, I've learned to kind of be off to myself, and I think in some ways that's probably the best thing for me. And then I was also thinking today about, well, actually, it was a few nights ago. I was talking about how, like, um, I'm not somebody who wants to be controversial or be defiant against society, but I also understand that following the herd to me is kind of pointless because I see that many people make mistakes in life. I'm not saying I've never made any mistakes. It's just that I don't want to, I choose not to live like the majority of people. That's my choice. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Um, I believe that we should, I personally, this is me, my personal belief, I think we should please ourselves, okay? Um, and some people believe or adhere to certain religions to where they believe in self-denial. Like I think this particular group who I can't say that Jehovah's Witnesses, like I said in one of my other videos, I don't think that Jehovah's Witnesses orchestrated this as a whole congregation or anything because this sort of activity would never be approved by anybody in the Watchtower Tract Society or anyone like that. Okay, but like I said, there are some individuals in certain religious groups that take it upon themselves to bully other people and use religion as an excuse. Okay. But there are some religions, there's certain aspects of the Jehovah's Witness religion, okay? I'm not saying they're going to go out and gang stalk you, but I do know that there's a lot of things in that religion that does require, in my mind, well, how would I say this? Depriving yourself. You know, like I've known people who had great musical talents or some other sort of gift or whatever, and they were not really able to express that or share that with the world, okay? um, Kind of going back down memory lane, my experiences with Jehovah's Witnesses, um, they when one of the things I didn't like about the Jehovah's Witnesses, I know that they were very Armageddon obsessed, like to the point of where actually there have been suicides in the Jehovah's Witness religion. There was one guy, he was able to fly a plane, which I always found that intriguing because Jehovah's Witnesses really aren't allowed to have any other extracurricular activities outside of going to school and participating in Kingdom Hall activities. But anyway, he was able to fly a plane, and he was extremely depressed because he felt as though his life could never be anything. So he decided to end his own life. Maybe it's because he was feeling some sort of outward pressure from maybe his family. Some people take it too far. Now, just because I say that religion as a whole does not approve of this sort of behavior, but some people who really just want their family to be of the same religion that they are, or maybe your friend wants them to take on or be a part of the same religion, they will do drastic things to try to get a person to keep them in line. But anyway, I know that Jehovah's Witnesses deprive themselves of a lot of pleasurable things, okay? Um, and that's their choice. Like I said, if you sign on for certain religions, then that's your choice. Like, some people laugh at them for not celebrating holidays and birthdays and certain things. And I understand they have a scriptural belief for that or whatever. That's their choice. I know that, some religions, I have never been told by anyone in the Kingdom Hall or any of their study material that women could not wear makeup or nice clothes. I know they talk bad about dressing provocatively, which I never dressed provocatively or anything like that. I've known several Jehovah's Witness women who've worn makeup who were married. Some were unmarried, and they presented themselves just fine. But you do have some people within like a religious organization, like I said, who may live in a very marginalized manner. Even though the majority of people seem okay with it, there might be some people in that group who go to the Kingdom Hall, and everyone else in the Kingdom Hall is relatively kind of normal, but they are very marginalized in their personal belief. They want to persecute other people or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to be a part of anybody's religion, or I don't want to be a part of anyone's like family structure to where I feel like I'm supposed to devote my time for the betterment of a whole group. This is something I don't believe in. And it might be different than most people, but like my son, I look at my son as a different person from me. He is different. Like, I don't go in, he knows that his mom's like really into the supernatural and stuff like that. He knows that, but I don't shove that down his throat. I don't expect him. I know that he has certain things in his life that he does that I don't do. But I am happy that my son is living his life the way that he wants to live his life. I think that we have one choice in this life. I mean, one life that I can verify. I know that I do believe in an afterlife. I do. But I can't be 100% sure of how what form I'm going to come back in. So I try to enjoy my life as much as I possibly can. And it's unfortunate, and I think about the time that these people were in my life and taking so much of my time away from me. You know what I mean? And I am very bitter about the time that I cannot get back. I'm very, very bitter about that. And so I'm trying to, every day I try to enjoy my life a little bit more. Meaning, like, I try, I get up every day and I can't do much really because I'm an old woman. But I do. I wear clothes that I want to wear. I still love clothes, and I still think that and it's not for the opposite sex, but it is for me. Like, I like looking in the mirror and saying, what, I like this. I like what I'm wearing today. I like Maria. And a lot of people can't say that about themselves. They can't say, I like who I am. I like who I am. I like my views on things. I am a very confident person. That doesn't mean I'm an arrogant person. And I think when people say, oh, Maria's arrogant. No, I'm not arrogant. I mean, I'm not arrogant. I don't look down on people. I don't. But I do believe in who I am as a person. You know what I mean? I think I have a very healthy outlook on myself and my views, And I think society, I think society is very hard on women. And when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, I have no idea what it's like to be in a Jehovah's Witness marriage. I was never married to my son's father, thank God. But I don't know who thought that I would be married to my son's father. Maybe it's because everyone in my family knew that I had a child out of wedlock, which I don't even adhere to those standards. Don't get me wrong. That's not to say that I don't respect that, okay? I just think that, some people use the word illegitimate. I believe everybody who lives and breathes is legitimate. I do believe that. And I think that that's a tradition that a man put in place or something. And if they want to adhere to that, then that's fine. That's their choice, okay? But I personally don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not saying that people should go out and have children out of wedlock or whatever. I'm just saying okay, it happened. Let's fix this and continue on. You know what I mean? And I'm very grateful that I did have a child, right? But and another thing I was thinking about how you never look at the person who is suffering. The person who suffers the most in this situation, I think, is generally the woman, because it's always the woman's fault. It's always the woman's fault. Like, nobody ever bashed this guy for taking advantage of a young innocent girl, because that's basically how it happened. Like, I didn't call him. He pursued me, but no one ever thinks about that. It's always the woman. I'm the one who suffered the social repercussions of having a relationship with this person, and he's just this righteous person that everyone respects, and it's like, okay, people really do have skewed logic. They truly do. But I was also thinking about back to the religion thing. The religion thing is, I don't want to be a part of the Jehovah's Witness religion. I would prefer, my son can be whatever religion he wants to. This is his life. He has the right to choose that. I don't think he would be happy as a Jehovah's Witness, only because my son is a very free-spirited person. And he would not want to have to, when you're a part of certain religions, it's like that one, say all type thing. And I don't believe in say one, say all. The only time a say one, say all is of any benefit is like in a work-related structure, okay? Where everyone has to be on the same board, in the same page. Otherwise, it's just not going to work, okay? But when it comes to people's personal life, they need that flexibility. And even though I'm his mom, I don't expect him to live out my wishes. I respect his need, his desire, and his right to live out whatever it is, even if I don't even approve of it. Because I feel like the day that we all die, I want my son to look back and say, I did what I wanted to do. You know, like that Frank Sinatra song, I did it my way. I think everybody has the right to to be able to say that. You know, that's just how it is. You know, but anyway, I think we should please ourselves. Now this is my channel. It's my channel, and I can say what I want. I think that we should. This is my personal opinion, and this is what I choose to do. You know what I mean? And I try to live my life quietly. I've never tried to preach my views to anyone or press my point of view, except for on my channel, because a lot has happened, and I'm kind of standing up for myself. But you're kind of in a situation in life where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And I was thinking a few nights ago about I knew this one lady. She was a Jehovah's Witness, okay, and she was a very overweight woman, and her husband was starting to look at other women, right? So she went to the elders, and the elders told her that if she wanted to get her husband back, then she needs to take care of herself, and she needs to take care of herself, lose some weight, blah, 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 go back to being the feminine woman that he was when he married you. And it's funny that, people always flip-flop the story around, okay? Like, if a woman takes care of herself, then she's terrible, she's stuck up, she's a whore, she's a terrible wife, whatever. And I also seen where, like, women get married, and then they have a kid or whatever, and they fall into, regular home life. And then she starts putting on weight, doesn't, do her hair, doesn't go out and take care of herself, doesn't put makeup on anymore. And people are like, oh, I can't believe she let herself go. Oh, she used to be such a pretty woman. What happened to her? It's like people are going to talk shit regardless. They're going to say things about you if you're doing well. They're going to say things if you're screwing up or you're not living up to their expectations. This is why I refuse to get involved with the personal dramas of other people. Okay, I don't want to be a part of it, and so I don't want to hear other people's opinion. If I want someone's opinion, I will ask for it, because most of the time people are just followers. They're following something, or I think the idea of trying to fall into society standards is the worst thing that you could ever do. Because you look around, I think most people in this life, and don't get me wrong, I can't tell you what the key to success is, but I will tell you the straightest road to failure is following what everyone else is doing. I want you to take a serious look around society, and you can see that most people have seriously failed, okay? And that's just the truth. I mean, this is the reality. I'm not saying I'm great, but I'm just saying is I know that the majority of people are on a path that I choose not to be on. So, people can say what they want. They're going to say what they want. Why not please yourself? So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I think I said enough. I am so tired. And for those women who experienced psychological abuse, because that's what it is. When somebody, wants to play those kind of games, like let's play a prank on her, let's kind of play a prank on her that's going to end up hurting her feelings, and then we'll say we're surprised and everything will be okay. Be very careful about those sort of people, because there's usually a hidden agenda behind it. I'll tell you what, I love my son very much, okay? And I wouldn't hurt my son's feelings, even if I had $2 million to present to him right after the joke was over, okay? I don't want my son suffering for even 5 minutes, 5 seconds, okay? So you wonder why somebody would want to do that. Well, people are very sadistic, okay? And then also for the woman who wants a divorce, I hope she gets a divorce. Godspeed. Okay. And I also want to make it very clear that I don't think certain behavior is acceptable. People need to look at things that other people do to each other and think about the underlying meaning of why somebody would do that sort of thing. You know what I mean? And I know it seems like, well, gosh, I'll be all by myself. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, life without drama, it's not paradise, but it's the closest thing you're going to get on this shitty earth, okay? So I'm going to wrap up this video. I'll be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Bye-bye.